Welcome to this explainer. Today we've got something really special lined up for you. We're going to dive into a beautiful, ancient-feeling Zen fable that holds the secret to calming our overwhelmed modern minds. If you've ever felt like your brain just won't shut off no matter how hard you try, this is exactly the story we need to hear today.
So how exactly do you empty a restless mind? It's a universal struggle, isn't it? We are constantly bombarded with information, our to-do lists are literally endless, and our thoughts can just spin totally out of control. Today, we're going to map out an allegorical roadmap derived from our source text to help us find real, sustainable clarity.
Section 1. The Restless Mind. Let's meet our main guy, Hiro. He lives out in this quiet little village nestled in the rolling hills, but let me tell you, his internal landscape is a total mess. He's restless, constantly overanalyzing everything, and just agonizing over the past and the future. His mind is so cluttered with thoughts that it's basically impossible for him to find any peace. Now contrast him with the Zen master. Hiro hears about this renowned master living on top of a distant mountain, a guy who is the exact opposite of Hiro. He's described as sitting quietly, eyes closed, in deep meditation, radiating absolute serenity. The massive gap between where Hiro currently is and the state of mind he desperately wants to achieve is entirely clear. Desperate for a way out of this mental trap, Hiro decides to take action. He embarks on this incredibly arduous journey. We're talking days of grueling physical travel, climbing up a distant mountain just to reach this famous master. And when he finally gets there, he approaches the meditating master, bows with total respect, and just pleads with him. He basically says, "My mind is completely restless, and I desperately want inner peace. Can you please teach me how to empty my mind?" Section 2. The Impossible Task. Well, the master just opens his eyes, gives this serene little smile, and agrees to help the young man. He takes Hiro out to this absolutely gorgeous courtyard garden to teach him a lesson. But here's the catch. It's not a lecture. It's a physical challenge. The master tells him, empty the large basin into the small bowl. Do not spill a single drop. Now, picture this. The master hands him a ladle, points to a massive stone basin filled to the absolute brim with water, and then points to one tiny empty bowl. He tells Hiro he has to transfer all that water from the giant basin into the tiny bowl without spilling a single drop. Obviously, the physical absurdity of this challenge hits you right away. I mean, how on earth is a massive basin of water supposed to fit into a tiny bowl? Section 3. The Breakdown. So, despite being completely baffled by the sheer physics of this request, Hiro jumps in. He accepts the challenge and starts diligently scooping and pouring, working tirelessly for hours on end. But guys, no matter how hard he tries, the basin remains completely full. The math literally just does not add up. Naturally, frustration starts creeping in. His attempts to just force a solution are totally backfiring. Instead of finding that peace he was looking for, his mind becomes even more restless. He's agonizing over the outcome and getting incredibly stressed out by how impossible the whole thing is. Section 4. The Master's Secret. Just as Hiro is about to completely snap under the pressure, the Zen master, who's been quietly watching this frantic struggle with a really compassionate look, walks over. He gently places a hand on Hiro's shoulder to stop him in his tracks, and he delivers the massive turning point of our story. He says, "To empty the basin, you must first empty your mind." The master softly explains that Hiro is trying so incredibly hard to empty the basin, but he's completely missed the most crucial first step. Hiro is baffled. Looking totally lost, he asks, "Master, how do I even empty my mind?" This is where the master lays out a highly actionable roadmap for him. Step 1. Let go of your worries, your fears, and your attachments. Basically, stop obsessing over the fact that the basin is huge and the bowl is tiny. Step 2. Focus only on the task at hand, just the scoop, just the pour. And step 3. Be fully present in this moment, and the rest will follow. The real light bulb moment here is that clearing out mental clutter isn't about trying to force an end result. It's entirely about changing how you engage with the very next step right in front of you. Section 5. Entering the flow state. Okay, so Hiro takes a really deep breath. He actively decides to let go of all that heavy frustration and just stops trying so hard to force the water into the bowl. Instead, he follows the master's exact instructions to savor the sound and the sensation of the water. He puts all his focus entirely on each individual scoop. He stops agonizing over that overwhelming final goal of emptying the giant basin, and he just listens to the water. He feels the coolness of it on his hands, completely anchoring himself in the physical reality of the present moment. By shifting his focus like this, he actually enters what we call a state of flow. It's a mental state where the mind becomes completely clear and physical movements become entirely effortless. And gradually, that is exactly what Hiro starts to experience. This sort of abstract concept of mindfulness suddenly becomes completely tangible. It's directly tied to the physical action of scooping the water. His mind clears out all the worry, and suddenly his movements with the ladle just feel totally effortless.
Section 6. Finding Peace Within.
Now, as Hiro empties his mind, something seemingly impossible happens in the fable. The basin actually seems to respond to his newfound tranquility. With each focused, effortless scoop, the water just flows perfectly into the smaller bowl, and gradually, the massive basin starts to empty. When he pours the very last drop, he looks up at the master in utter amazement. And the master shares this beautiful, ultimate philosophical lesson. When you empty your mind, you allow the universe to flow through you. You become one with the task at hand, and everything just naturally falls right into place. Let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from Hiro's journey here. First, Hiro realizes that true peace and clarity always resided within him. He didn't really need a mountaintop, he just needed presence. Second, clarity is entirely accessible in the present moment. The second you stop agonizing over the past and the future, clarity naturally arrives. And finally, the master's wisdom becomes this lifelong guide for Hiro, a tool he carries in his heart to keep his restless mind at bay for the rest of his life. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to ask yourself, what basin are you currently trying to empty by force? What overwhelming task or deep worry are you stressing over, trying to muscle your way through, when maybe you just need to stop, take a breath, and focus on the sensation of the next single scoop of water? It's a pretty powerful prompt for self-reflection, isn't it? Remember, to empty the basin, you must first empty the mind. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this story, and I really hope this helps you find a little more flow in your own life today.